going to be making Margherita Pizza. We're going to be making homemade pizza dough, and we're going to be also making fresh mozzarella. This kit is from Farm Steady, and we're going to make pizza dough and fresh mozzarella. So the pizza dough, it is authentic, handcrafted pizza crust like what you taste in Italy or New York City. It is crisp with a chewy interior, made from the best 00 flour you can find. It's the essential base for a delicious pizza that's generously dressed with tomato sauce, basil, and fresh mozzarella.
Sounds good.
Now we're going to talk about the fresh mozzarella. The best mozzarella is made by hand with rich whole milk and enjoyed as fresh as can be. Perfect for slicing and melting atop Margherita Pizza. It's the height of tastiness. This kit includes the specialty ingredients to get you making homemade mozzarella. Just add milk. Alright, so this will be ready, our mozzarella and pizza dough, in about 3.5 hours. And this makes 2 large pies. The kit included 00 pizza flour, baking yeast, a cheesecloth, a thermometer, citric acid, and vegetable rennet. And you're going to need milk, olive oil, tomato sauce, and fresh basil. Those are the ingredients that you'll need. Alright, and this freshly made Margherita Pizza is as crowd-pleasing as it gets. Craft your own authentically handmade mozzarella and pizza dough from scratch. Alright, let's get bread baking. Alright, so we have 2 glasses, and they both have a 1/4 cup of non-chlorinated water, and you want to use filtered or bottled water, or you want to let your tap water sit out for 24 hours to allow the chlorine to evaporate before using. And we have a 1/4 tablet of vegetable rennet, and we also have 3/4 teaspoon of citric acid. So I'm going to add in the vegetable rennet, and I'm going to dissolve that. And then you're going to add in 3/4 teaspoon of citric acid. We want to make sure it's dissolved, and then we're actually going to set these aside.
All right.
Alright, so now we are going to add in a 1/2 gallon of milk into our stock pot, or we can use a big pot. So this is 4 cups, so we're going to do this twice. Okay, 4 cups. You're going to add that into our stock pot. Okay, now we're going to add in 4 more cups into our stock pot.
All right.
We're also going to add in our citric acid and water. And we're going to have this on medium-low heat. You're going to do this very slowly. And you could start with a spatula occasionally. And we want to get this to 90 degrees Fahrenheit or 32 degrees Celsius. See you when it's on 90 degrees. We've been doing this for a couple minutes now, and we're already on 78 degrees Fahrenheit. So we're getting there. We're only 10 degrees away. See you soon. Alright, so now our milk is on 90 degrees, and now we're going to add in our vegetable rennet and water. We are going to have this on the heat for 20 seconds, and then we are going to take it off the heat for about 5 to 10 minutes. Alright, so 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Alright, take it off the heat. We're going to take this off the heat for about 5 to 10 minutes. The milk should be thick and no longer runny. So we're going to test the curd formation by running a knife through the milk. If you observe a clean break, you're ready to move on. Otherwise, you're going to let it sit for a couple more minutes. Let's try it out. Okay, so now we have our electric burner, and we're going to put our curds back on it on medium-low heat. So since we're using electric burner, we have it on like 1.5 right now. The highest is 5. And then we're going to have it on until it reaches 105 degrees. This is on like 80 degrees, but we're going to put it to 105. And then, upon reaching the temperature, we're going to remove from heat and we're going to gently stir for 5 minutes. While this is heating, you're going to line your cheese basket, or you could use a strainer with a cheesecloth, and we're going to line it in a large bowl. So we're going to line our cheesecloth. That just means we're going to do this, and then we're going to put this in a large bowl. So our cheese is on 105 degrees. We took it off the heat, and now we're just going to gently stir with a slotted spoon for 5 minutes. Do it very gently. See you in 5 minutes. Alright, so now we're going to pour our cheese into a cheese basket. We're using 2, but if you have a bigger cheese basket, then you just use 1. The excess whey, we're going to reserve that. And then we'll add our mozzarella curds.
Okay.
All right, and then we'll add it into our other cheese basket as well.
Looking good.
Yep.
We're gonna have to scoop that out with this.
Yeah. Some of the mozzarella doesn't want to leave. All right, and we're going to let this sit in the cheesecloth for about 10 minutes. And...
All
right, see you in 10 minutes. All right, so while our cheese sits in our cheese basket, we're going to add our whey back into our stock pot. And we're going to heat it up. And we want it on 150 degrees. Our 10 minutes are up. And now we are going to form our mozzarella into 2 balls. You could even do up to 4.
Look at that.
So
That
we'll
looks
just
good.
split that in half. Then we'll form it into balls. Once the whey is on 150, we will place the mozzarella back into the whey. And we want the internal temperature to be 135. All right, see when the whey is on 150. All right, so now we're going to add our mozzarella balls into our warm whey. So it's on 150 degrees, and we're going to add our mozzarella balls into the whey. So we did it into a ball, but if you want, you could do it in like a log.
Logs,
like
you could do small balls.
Yeah, you could do like little bite-sized ones.
Yeah.
Up to you, whatever size you want, you could do. So on Farm Steady, they use the big circle ones. That's why we did the balls. But everybody's pizza is different.
Right.
Everybody does it their own way. So, their own way.
The wrong way, I get it.
No, really, everybody does it their own style and way. So, you can do it in whatever shape you would like. So our first mozzarella ball is done. It is on 135 degrees. Now we're going to just knead it. So we're gonna add in our Osmo salt. You wanna add a little more than that?
Sure.
A little bit,
Knead it.
okay. Then we'll just knead it. We'll turn it into a ball. Got some salt on the other side. You wanna add some salt on this side? Okay. All right, that is mozzarella ball number 1 complete. Now, we're on to the second one. All right, so now our second mozzarella ball is done. Now you're just going to knead it. And then I'll add some salt. You could either use cheese salt or you could use flaky salt. Alright, and then when we're done kneading this, we will start making our margarita pizza dough. See you then. Alright, so now we're going to make the pizza dough. So we have 1 1/4 cup of warm water. It's about 100 degrees. Now we're going to add in 1 packet of active dry yeast. This is baking yeast. Now we're going to add in a teaspoon of sugar. Now we're just going to stir this up a little bit, and we want the yeast to foam the water. All right, see you then. All right, so now we're going to add in our 00 flour into our large mixing bowl. We're gonna add in our 1.5 teaspoons of salt. That was a little more, so I'll do a little less. We're going to add in 1 tablespoon of olive oil. We're making like a well in the center.
Yep.
And then we're going to add in our yeast, water, and sugar. This is a simple dough. Very simple dough. Wait, some of the oil didn't leave. Yeah, we'll just stay in there. All right, we're gonna mix this until a shaggy dough forms. All right, so now the shaggy dough is formed, and now we're going to knead the dough by hand, and we want a smooth dough.
This is nicest dough.
Yes.
Looks good.
Yes. The 00 flour. And do you ever make pizza with 00 flour?
Yes.
Cool.
Yep.
All right, so we're going to grease our bowl with oil. We're using olive oil, but you could use any oil. We're just going to put our dough into it.
Put more on the top, and then we'll cover it up.
We're going to put our pressing steel on top of our dough. And then we're going to put a few towels on the dough. You actually put this to rise in the oven, right? Not on though.
Yeah, I mean, you could leave it out, but I like to put it in the oven.
Yeah, so we just want to put it in a warm place. We're going to let it rise for about 1 hour.
All right.
But we want the dough to be doubled in size.
Okay. All right, so we let the dough rest for what, 2 hours?
Yeah, like 1.5 hours, 2 hours.
Yeah. So like I like to say, it has risen. This looks good. So we just floured the surface a little bit. Now we're going to work the dough, and then we're going to cut this in half and get 2 pies out of it.
Yes, we have our bench scraper. And if before you let the dough rest, you could also cut it in half. But we're going to cut it in half right now.
All right.
All right.
Cool.
Pretty equal.
Looks good.
Look like the same size.
All right.
This one looks like a potato.
Yeah.
All right. And while we are forming our dough, we preheated the oven to 500 degrees Fahrenheit. If your oven does not go to 500 degrees Fahrenheit, then you could do it on 450. So somewhere in that range, 450 to 500. Like if you want to do 475, you can do that.
All right. So now we'll just form these and get our pans ready.
Yes, we have 2 pans. We're going to do a square one, and we're also going to do a circle one, and we're going to grease the pans. So while Chef Pop is forming the dough, I'm just going to spray both of our pans. If you want to do both circle, you can do that. If you want to do both square, you could do that.
Okay. We'll put one here and we'll get it set.
Okay. So in our deep dish pizza video, in that video, we actually used the same pan. We just used the other side because that's for deep dish. This is for thin crust. We're going to make a thin crust. We actually got this from Aldi. Now, Aldi, I know they change their stuff a lot. They only have it like sometimes, but we got it in the summer. So in the summer, they might have it back. I'm not sure. It could have been just a limited time thing, but I know they also have like seasonal items, so I'm not sure. All right, so we're going to cover our dough with a towel until the oven gets to temperature. We're just gonna let it rest for a couple minutes until we get to 500. Now it is time to assemble our Margherita Pizza. So we have our pizza sauce, and we're going to put that onto our pizza dough. I'm going to add a little bit more pizza sauce, but I think that's good.
That looks good.
A little more?
Yeah. It smells good too.
Yeah, a little more.
That's fine.
Or no? And Chef Pop is chopping up our mozzarella cheese. And Neapolitan pizza, it's not like it's a shredded mozzarella. They'll just throw on like some slices of mozzarella. So that's what we're gonna do. Almost like little circles of mozzarella. Okay. And then I'm gonna add some basil leaves. Basil is in the sauce. We're big fans of basil.
Smells good.
Yes. All right, and then we're gonna top it off with some extra virgin olive oil. All right, and then we're going to do this with the other pizza. So we're gonna bake this for 15 minutes or until the cheese is bubbling. See you when the pizza's done. Now it is time to review our Margherita Pizza from Farm Steady. Cheers.
Cheers.
That's good. With the homemade mozzarella, homemade pizza sauce, with the dough, too. The homemade dough, delicious. Thumbs up. Go check out Farm Steady and go get this kit. It's delicious.